Our next speaker will be Manur Sad Gondal, presenting her talk, Mentorship Matters, Nurturing the Next Generation of Women in Science Through the Power of Choice. She is from Lahore, Pakistan, and is pursuing a PhD in computational medicine and bioinformatics. Manur can do it all. She's an award-winning poet, painter, singer, an equestrian, and a medical first responder. I know, give it up for that. She bad, ain't she? I know. There you go. Her first time traveling outside of her city alone was coming to Michigan for her PhD program. This was a significant step for her to take. The opportunity to study at Michigan has given Manur not just the opportunity for academic advancement, but to grow as a person. Please welcome Manur.
Picture this, a dark room only lit by a candle's flame. In it, a sobbing 12-year-old girl vigorously going through her biology textbook, trying hard to tune out the sobs of her mother. That girl was me. And in that moment, I was driven both by fear and hope. The fear for my mother and the fear of turning into my mother, having my dreams taken away from me because cultural norms. But there burned a flame of hope, a hope for a better future. A hope that if I close my eyes and just focus on my biology textbook, I could escape the world that was destined for me. In a world where only 15% of the girls in my region have access to secondary education, I was determined to be part of that small percentage. So I fought. I fought with myself. I fought with my family. I fought with society. I fought to have a choice. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about something so powerful that we often take for granted. The power of choosing to have a choice. For many girls around the world, this is a luxury, and sometimes even a dangerous one. I remember the day I told my family I wanted to study computational biology, and their response, it's not for girls. Those 5 words could have been the end of my career. But instead, they ignited a passion within me, a relentless dissatisfaction. Why? Why not? Pause for a moment and think of the time when someone told you that you're not meant to do something. You're not meant to have this choice. Did you bow down? Or did you stand tall alone at the face of adversity, determined to have a choice? It was my mother, Pinky, who became my first mentor. She believed that I should have a choice. And for me, that choice was education. Having not completed her education, she learned that the hard way. I still remember when she used to take me to my debates competition, waiting for hours outside in the scorching heat of Lahore, so that I could have a choice. And she wasn't alone. My elder brother Ali, despite societal expectation, became my ally. He would say, Manur, you're smarter than all of us. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. When I was forbidden to step outside the house to pursue education, or else my legs would be cut off, it was my brother who said, if she won't go, I won't go. He became an example of how men can champion women's rights. Then there is my undergraduate professor, Dr. Safiullah Chaudhry, who looked at me in the eye and said, I know you don't believe me, beta, but I see a scientist in you. Those are his eyes. Those words were transformative. They taught me that sometimes we need others to believe in us before we believe in ourselves. I've always been very fortunate to have excellent mentors. As I progressed in my academic journey, I was very fortunate to have Dr. Marcin Cieslik. Dr. Marcin taught me the importance of perseverance and relentlessness. He taught me that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities to grow. He taught me that I'm capable, that the world is my oyster. Dr. Arul Chanayan, on the other hand, taught me the value of interdisciplinary science. If it weren't for Dr. Arul and Dr. Marcin believing this random person from Pakistan, I would not be here sitting giving this speech. Then there's my husband, Saad, who entered my life after I came to Michigan. He's not just a life partner, but a guiding light in his own right. His unwavering support and belief in my abilities is a constant motivation. He has shown me that mentorship can come in many forms. Saad's family also took me in as their own daughter and asked me to lead by example. On the day of my wedding, when my own family told me to act shy and be that traditional Pakistani bride and not to mingle or not to speak up, be quiet, my father-in-law said, you are a queen and you should act like it. So think about the mentors in your life. Who has changed your path? Who has empowered you to have a choice? These experiences have taught me a valuable lesson. When we empower the conscious ability to have a choice, we create a ripple effect that can transform communities. But it requires more than individual effort. It demands a collective push for justice and equality. Fast forward to today. Too fast forward. I am now a PhD candidate in computational medicine and bioinformatics at the University of Michigan. But I have not forgotten where I came from or the struggles women still face, not just in Pakistan, but also here in the United States. Did you know that while women earn nearly 50% of the STEM PhDs, only 26% hold tenured positions? This scissor effect is not just a statistics, it's a call to action. But what exactly is the scissor effect? The scissor effect is a phenomena in which the proportion of women decreases as we move up the career ladder or academic hierarchy. It's called the scissor effect because when you plot the percentages of men and women at different stages of their careers, the lines cross like scissors. And this trend is not just in academia. We can see that in almost every industry. In the tech industry, for example, women hold only 26% of the computing job and only 8% of the leadership position. This global trend of decreasing female representation as we move up the career ladder is alarming. It's a clear indication that we're losing valuable talent and diverse perspective at the highest level of decision making in STEM. We are losing our innovation and progress due to these scissors. While these statistics paint a broad picture, they don't capture the individual struggles that many women have to face. Let me tell you a bit of my own story again. For me, education has always been an uphill battle. We didn't have enough money, so I had to fight for opportunities and scholarships to get my education. People often used to ask to just send my brother and not me because in their eyes, it just wasn't necessary. I would just be married off and did not need to study hard. When I got into college, it was a mess. My mother and my brother fought for me to get into college. Then, when the opportunity to come to the US arose, my problem wasn't getting admission, it was getting permission to leave the country alone. I had to consult numerous scholars across the world to convince my family that it was okay for me to study abroad. It's a miracle that I was able to come to the University of Michigan. But as MLK said, change does not roll on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through continuous struggle. My story is among many. It illustrates the additional struggles that many women, especially coming from certain cultural background, have to overcome in order to pursue education, in order to have a career, in order to have a choice. These are the invisible barriers that contribute to the scissor effect. That's why I've dedicated myself to empowering and mentorship initiatives. I chose to empower my own village, my own school, so that young girls could have the opportunity to escape their fate through education. Through programs like Girls Who Code, I have had the privilege of teaching Python to high school female students to foster their interest in technology. I've seen firsthand how exposure to coding can ignite a passion for technology in these young girls. Through the Harvard's Open Bio initiatives, I have the privilege of supervising projects that have been recognized among the top 10. This experience exposed me to the incredible potential that lies within our youth, given the right guidance and opportunity. Working with Athena, a group that works to improve female representation in the corporate and leadership roles, I have realized the systematic challenges that many women face in the workplace and the importance of creating a supportive network. I have always been fortunate to have people who chose to invest their time, knowledge, resources in me. It wasn't just individual acts of kindness. It was people choosing to empower me through opportunities. But this should not be an exception. It should be a rule. People invested to build my social capital, build my network. Because here's the truth. The pursuit of justice and equality, the pursuit of having a choice is not about laws or policies. It's about the everyday conscious choice that we make to uplift and empower each other. It's about refusing to accept the status quo and instead embracing a relentless dissatisfaction that drives us to create change. Mentorship is not just about guiding someone's career. It's about empowering them to have a choice, to believe in them and drive them so that they can pursue their dreams relentlessly. So today I want to call on to each and every one of you, a student, a teacher, a partner, and a mentor. Think about the power of choice. How can we create more opportunities for each other? How can we ensure that the next generation doesn't have to fight the same battles that we did? For the men in the audience, I challenge you to be like my brother and my husband. For the educators, be that professor who sees potential when you don't see it yourself. And for the mothers and the women out there, know that your choices are valid, your dreams are achievable, and your voice matters. Take a moment to consider, where in your life can you become a mentor? How can you use your privilege to amplify someone else's rights? Join me in this relentless pursuit for justice and equality. Because when we choose to stand up for girls' education and women empowerment, we're not just changing individual lives, we're shaping the future of our world. And that future starts with the choices we make today. Let's choose to empower. Let's choose to mentor. Let's choose to create a world where every girl has the opportunity to sit under the light of knowledge and not just a candle's flame. I chose to have a choice. Let's allow everyone to have a choice. Thank you.